Okay, I think that I'm just going to try and fire in and make this make sense. Now, I believe I have all that information, and the way that I'm going to test whether or not I have all that information is by displaying the bugger. A thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the new of the view gadget, and I'm going to find the loaded and painted array. This is correct, but array width actually what I want is for array width to equal just a info panel face width, and array height to equal info panel face height. Yeah, this is the minus border divided by 2. And then instead of doing this bit, I want to say cy plus equals loaded array gadget height plus border. And that should arrange them one on top of the other, but I should also say this is locked to the left, this is locked to the right, this is locked high, and this is locked proportional. This is locked to the left and the right, and the top of it is locked proportional, and the bottom of it is locked high. That actually, the top of it is locked low. Top of the top one locked low, bottom of the bottom one locked high. So, now, where do I say? I want to phrase this slightly differently, like array as loaded I guess after painting is okay. Where on earth is the next thing? There's a bit in apply settings where I say this and I say false and true. So that false and true is about whether or not this array gadget is showing as the original or the painted one. So I need more information. I need the title. I need the creation time, my label. I need the draw time, but I'll just leave as time. Position, high point, average, top size, graph title, and bar graph gadget. Okay. So after the time, I think I will have what on earth? Let me go back here, nab this, and stick it in here. Creation time, draw time. Should I just display the width and height? I could just have a size, my label. Position, yeah. A position, yeah. The data is being displayed on the screen. And the scale method, my label. And the scale value, my label. The threshold, I'll just call it my label, because I'll display them both. And time is fine because it's for either draw or paint time. And that's it. So I need to add these things in. And I need to think about how I'm actually doing it. Face width is this, face height's that, line height is line height, fine. Border CX, fine. CX should not equal border by border. CX should equal 0.0 and CY should equal 0.0. That's a good thing to start with. The other thing is local label width. I've got line height. Okay. Yeah, no, that's okay. Label width float equals, say, button large. And graph width float equals face width minus label width plus border. Graph height, I won't bother putting it down there, I'll just say graph height float equals face height minus label height plus border. Okay, let's see how I get on with that. CX and CY are at 0, 0. I want this to be label width and label height, and I want it to be aligned left and proportional? No, left and left. Top and top, yeah. This bit's correct, but also I want to say title justify left. Now, I wonder if I should just do something tiny to the font, like make it slightly it's annoying. Okay, well, let's just create things anyway. Creation time equals new my label self. Created, comma, CX, CY, label width, label height, and yeah, see, this is a little tiny thing. I think I'll say small label height float equals label height times 0.9, and I might not play with that at all. We'll just see. I want to make this small label height and small label height. So basically this label is as high as the font that's drawn inside it. And creation time, align sides. I should probably have some sort of collective align sides, so I can make whole groups of gadgets the same thing. Justify left, and CY plus equals creation time height. So I hate having to look up and down and up and down, but and this can be small label height and small label height, and this also needs to be whacked to the left and to the top, and it also needs to be justified left. I am going to have to go up and down if I don't just, because I'm not, what else do I have to, like, I'm trying to think about how I actually arrange this, because some things I do, and there are times I do and times I do not want to display certain pieces of information. Like I always want the average height, like the high point average height, top size, height distribution I will have, but what? Oh man, like the here's the question. Let me have a little look back at render. I can hardly believe it. I'm setting these things to the project values here, and actually, maybe I shouldn't. Actually, maybe I should say scale method unscaled. Let me think for a moment. That means I have to compile render again, but that's okay. I won't lose an array, but it doesn't matter. I've hardly got an array. Got one quick one. I'm having painful thoughts. Scale method threshold. Right. Why is this hard to think about? It's because I will display these things both times. So the time will be displayed. It's like, yeah, I suppose I'll display the size, position, scale method and value. Yeah, bugger it. The heck with it, I'll display the lot. But that means that in here, I will not say it equals scale style, I'll say it equals unscaled. At the moment it gets saved by the renderer, and I won't say that equal, I'll just say equals 0.0. And I think I'm going to say 0.0, and I think I'm going to say 0.0. It's like, if it reads unscaled, maybe that should be the thing that determines, like maybe I don't need to, nah. But I won't, I will actually withhold the threshold and scale value label when painting, when drawing. I think I'll just call this show painted. I'll get back to that. It makes me think about that I should determine where the things I'm not going to display are appearing. Well, actually, I should just... what should I do? The reason I'm hesitating here is because one of the top gadget is it as it is loaded. Just because the latest one is unscaled doesn't mean the one you're about to load, the one you're actually displaying here as loaded, is unscaled. If I allow you to save the painted array, which I think I will. These things will have changed I should display them all the time. No questions asked, even if they're set to 0 as an unscaled array. So, created, time, position, small, label width, small, label height. This is all totally wrong. This should be label width, small label height, small label height. Label width, small label height, small label height. Label height, comma, label height. Okay, right, get it together here. So the position, then I need other things. I need scale method, scale value, threshold. Scale method equals new my label. Oops, I need size as well. And I'll put it here. Size equals my label self, comma, size, comma, cx, cy, label width, small label height, small label height. This is going to, the actual contents of them get changed when show array is called anyway. So this is just to kind of remind me what sort of thing I should be putting in there. Size, height. Then position, which needs justify left. Hang on, just before I do anything else, I'm going to get this back in here. It just popped into my brain that I need to do that again, so I'm going to do it. Okay. Where was I? Here. Scale method. Self scale method, comma, cx, cy, label width, small label height, small label height. Scale method, align sides, low, 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 low. Scale method, justify left, cy plus equals scale method, height. Scale value, new my label, self, scale value, again cx, cy, label width, I see a problem, and another one. I assume these are problems. Label width, small label height, and scale value, align sides, low, 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 and scale value, justify left, and cy plus equals scale value height. Thresholds. Threshold equals new my label self thresh, doesn't matter, cy label width, small label height, small label height. Threshold, align sides, low, 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 low. Threshold, justify left, and cy plus equals threshold height. Now, do I want a little plus bore? I think I do. I think I do. And I want to just play with some of these things. So line height, low, 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 high point, justify left, average, excuse me, that, small label height, and align sides all to the low, and justify left. Top size graph title. Okay, top size, label width, small label height, and I'm going to call this top area. And align sides all low, and top size, justify left. Now, that's a bunch more stuff. They probably don't need the spaces. I'm going to take them out in the set array part. I should just leave it. I'm sure I'm going to take them out. I'll see how it looks. Graph title. Now I need CX equals what? I've got graph width and graph height. So I'll just say CX equals face width minus graph width. CY equals 0. Face width minus graph width. CY equals 0. Graph width, yeah, label height. Align sides, yeah, left, right, top, top is still correct in this case. CY plus graph title height, and I will also say graph title justify left. And this should be graph width, comma graph height, and this should have a border. That should be left, right, top, bottom, yes. And that should be that. I said absurdly. So now I have a fair few more things to set up in here. So this actually is the same. High point, average, yeah. All of this, except I have all the other things to add. And I'm just going to take them all from here. And I'm going to stick them all in here. And ram them out. And I'm going to say if show painted is true. Okay, I need to store something here. It needs to be name string. Name equals t. Am I doing this right? I don't think I am. Actually, I should just forget about doing that. Forget it. I'll store it anyway for no good reason. Okay, what am I looking at here? Correcting that. And I want to show a bunch of stuff. Creation time text equals created colon space space. Should I have something like local prefix? Something gone wrong with my it's not essential that I do anything about that just now, as long as this doesn't mind. God, always half an hour in already. Prefix string equals just did just now, and I'll just add it to the start of everything, because I want to be able to just tab stuff in if I want to. Prefix plus, let me just get that sorted. Prefix plus, prefix plus, prefix plus, set data that, this, graph set gradient, right, okay. But here pf created when plus AR creation time to string. That is going to probably flow off the end of the gadget, but never mind. The time has already been dealt with. The size text equals pf plus width plus string of array width plus dit space height colon space dit comma string array height. Positions dealt with. Scale method equals pf plus dit scale method plus scale method, no, array scale method, scale value equals pf plus, oops, it's scale method text and scale value excuse me, text equals pf plus scale value plus AR scale value threshold text equals pf plus low plus tf AR low threshold comma 1 plus dit space high colon space dit plus tf high AR high threshold comma 1. High point, average, everything else dealt with. Right, well, call me bold, and I have a feeling this isn't going to quite work just yet, because I think the information as I'm displaying it is too high. But let's just throw caution to the wind, seeing as just about 30 minutes in. So what I'm expecting to see the two gadgets one on top of the other with the greater amount of information displayed, and that's it. I'm expecting they may flow off the bottom of their own gadgets, and some of the text might flow off the side of the labels, so I might have to widen the labels, and I might have to heighten the gadgets. That's annoying. I wanted it to take up less space, but I kind of feel this might just be for the best. There might be another way to squish them in. I could squish them in side by side still with this arrangement, but it'd be very strange, and actually the graphs would be no good. Okay. Okay. Whereabouts? Right, well, hang on a sec. Before I do anything else, let me remove latest array. It's not a great way to solve a problem, that, but the first thing I want to do is just create another render. Wonder what I've done. I have a feeling actually that's not it. I didn't really... I really should have run that with the debugger on. Okay. I wonder where it got to. No way of knowing. What, I wonder, am I doing? Something on a null object? That's usually what that means, but it might not actually tell me. A lot has happened since the last debug compile. Gosh darn it. I wonder. I'm just pausing and looking at this. I can't really tell what it is I'm likely to be doing. Da, da, da. Session. Oh. Well, that shouldn't be like that, but that also shouldn't be causing a problem. Okay. Attempt to invoke method on null instance. Right, creation time. Right, okay. Creation time is going to become a string. That's what's going to happen. Creation time text plus creation time. Okay, yes, I accept. Just plus creation time. This is where creation time is set. So creation time is going to equal time now to string. Is it like that? And recursive classes is going to store creation time. This is going to store creation time as a string. I'm going to lose my save files again, but it doesn't matter. Copy to. Creation time must also be copied. Why do I not do that? Do I not even save it? I just am not paying attention. It's gonna go... I think it's gonna go first. It is, it's just gonna go right first. D creation time equals creation time. And right at the start, AFS write C string creation time. Creation time? Did I not tell you it's a string? Yeah. Render is going to be compiled again. was AFS read C string. That's it. I said with great confidence. So once again, this is just going to be compiled to release. And good. And I'm tempted just to make this compile to release as well, but I won't. I'll be vaguely sensible. Now, so I will have to ditch my render, or at least I'll just perform a new render immediately. And then I will load it up. Creation time is just a string now. Boy, it's early in the morning and I'm tired. And I've got a lot to do today. Right, render me a still. Just take your time. I know that's a hard thing. Okay, lovely. Okay. Well, this is all utterly hideous, and as predicted, takes up far too much space. Everything needs shrunk. This text looks smaller than this text. It really does. Okay, well, it looks pretty hideous, but honestly, that's great. It's appearing as I want. I'm going to go back to release mode because I'm just like that. I'm going to go up to here. Where I say graph title, my label, graph with line height. Ah, okay. No, I see what it does. When by default the label itself sets the font smaller. I'm kind of I'm saying make the font the same height as the label, which is a fair enough thing to do. It means I can get away with making this smaller. I'm going to make it 0.7. Oops, times 0.7. And the smaller ones will be even smaller. Let's just see how it looks if I do that. So I could display the graph titles slightly larger. Oh, I do. There is a thing I need to do actually. The graph titles need to be displayed differently. That's what I need a name for. I had a feeling it was going to come up again. So what am I about to see? Smaller text, smaller labels, smaller text, hopefully fitting in. We'll see. I might have to, as I say, heighten, make the actual window appear higher. The info panel. But I feel like I'm getting close to the end of this, or the end of this bit. Then I have height redistributions. Okay, well, it's still not all fitting in. It's fitting in width-wise. I could space it a little, but it's not fitting in height-wise. And it still looks like one chunk of information. Animation position. I did not left justify that. The size of the font is starting to push it. Well, it's going to have to go back to being left and right, unfortunately. Like, this makes this look much better, but it's just going to be too small if I pack everything in. And it's going to mean if I stick the bar graph beneath these things, I'm still going to have to make it taller. I think I should actually just make it taller. There's only another line or two, is it? That has disappeared. It's like, okay, let me go and fix the position. It needs to be 0 and 0, and it needs to be... yeah, there's the problem with that. Position. Okay. So, what is a thing which I was going to say would help sort this? Yeah, just increasing the height. But also, I do need to, inside here, I need to say graph title text equals name, name plus after painting. No, height distribution. And actually, it doesn't need to be in there. It just needs to be up here. And it needs to be in here. I don't need to store the name, but hey-ho. Okay, let's have a little think. The other thing is just increasing the height of it. That is a pain. It's like, so inside new view, the info panel, face height times 0.5. I mean, that's really vague. It could... Well, if I bump that up to 0.8, 0.7, and I lock that to the bottom as well, so that when it resizes, it does change size, and we just have another go. I think that's fine. I think it is, yeah. It's getting on. I'm going to stop, I think, after this run, and once I see how this looks. I want to space them enough that there's a gap at the end of the first block of information before the start of the second block. Well, that's better. And I've got that little tiny border. I can make this match this, which would make sense. maybe make this match this. If I click apply, the creation date doesn't change. Maybe I should make that change. Maybe I should set the creation date. In fact, I think I probably should. That's a small thing, but I think I will. So I want to say make these two things the same, or make this larger and this smaller. In fact, I think I'll just make this smaller. No, I won't. I will find the array gadget, find new, find this title is line height and line height. And maybe if I just don't set that, the graph title is this and just line height. If I do set that, it goes slightly smaller. Now I'm going to make this face width, face height minus CY, and hopefully not have broken it. I did say that would be the last run. This probably will be the last run. It's, wait, stop. If it's going to be the last run, I want to make this that. I should have done the thing about updating the creation time as well, but never mind. Well, the three different sizes here is probably a bad plan. I think I'm going to make this one this size. It's pretty small text. I could get away with making it a bit bigger now. Well, on the whole, it's actually pretty damn good. And this fits much more nicely in a pair. In 3 it just about does. This could actually be made smaller. In fact, I will make it smaller. That's okay. So there are a couple of other slight adjustments I'll make, but